So I had a problem. I had a gachapon capsule toy, whatever, addiction for a few years back there, and it was getting kind of ridiculous. I just loved sticking coins into these machines and just going gacha and getting a little ball full of whatever the heck I wanted, and then having it not be what I wanted, so then I would put more coins in and lose double the money and eventually just have to look on Mercari to get what I wanted to begin with. Ultimately, I could be upset with all the money that I lost, but you know, it's fine. I had fun, so moving right along. Let's see what we got. Okay, Aibo. I really like the Aibo dog. I don't know if I'd ever get one. Actually, I totally would. I remember when I was a kid that they had those little iPod Nano looking ones and Happy Meals. I ate a lot of McDonald's as a kid. The glow up lights on their faces and their ears move, and I think they did a little dance or something. Not the Happy Meal ones, I think they were a bit archaic. But now they've evolved into having like limbs, and they could do flips in your house and they can walk around. Their eyes are not robotic, they're some kind of LED screen. They find their own little spot to charge themselves at night. It's so interesting. You can play fetch with them, crazy stuff like that. And I remember a couple of years ago they came out with this strawberry milk one that really caught my eye, and I was obsessed with it for a while, watching videos of it and stuff. And when they came out with a tiny version, like a scale model miniature gachapon, I freaked the hell out, and I was so lucky to get exactly the one that I wanted, and everything about her moves. Isn't that so cool? Oh, I love her so much. And her little snout, that's where her sensor would be, and how she would like know where you were, and she would figure out like the layout of your apartment. This is really expensive, and you don't just buy it once, you have to buy like a whole subscription, and monthly you're paying for the ability to use your dog, which is crazy. You might as well just get a real animal like a cat. This is more comparable, I think, to having a cat because it's low maintenance. You can't starve an Aibo. I don't know. Man, if I were rich, I would get an Aibo and a cat, and maybe a dog. So I got her first try, 500 yen, amen, it was incredible. She was perfect. So I had to get more, and I ended up getting the silver one and the black one, and I never got the brown ones and the gray one, but I kind of wish I had. And this little rotund booba looking thing, like, you know, booba, like this. Remember booba? It's a loveot. Loveots are the companion baby. If you wanted a companion dog, you get an Aibo. If you want a baby, but you don't really want to have a baby, you get a loveot. I've seen them at Yodobashi Camera, and they're usually wearing clothes for some reason. They always put these things in clothes, and they roll around the store because these are where the little wheels usually go. It has the same type of eyes as the Aibo, and they just kind of look up at you. Their arms waddle, and then you can pick them up. I think in the winter you can like set a function to make it warm so that it feels like a real baby. I wonder if you had one of these and an Aibo in your house, like what that would be like, if they would bump into each other. Actually, I've seen some very wealthy people, they own a couple of Aibos, and the Aibos like interact with each other. Next up we got, well, okay, we got Miffy. I grew up with Miffy. I love Miffy. You gotta buckle in because I have 2 slides on this. Down there is Miffy's mama's birthday, which I think is just such a funny concept that they've made a gachapon birthday party just for her mom. I like that her mom is carrying a present and Boris is there with a little hat. That's really cute. I would get the whole set. But there's no need. Here is Miffy, like the old-fashioned version of Miffy, where she's in her own little box, and she's a keychain, but the box is a part of the keychain. I got this whole lullaby set, which I didn't need to begin with, but you can hang them all on each other and like have a little chain. Here's like kind of a big highlight. We have the best one. I don't even remember what the other colors were because this one is perfect, and I'm gonna turn it off. Whoa! I love to have her by my bedside. Yeah, I'm very pleased with this, and she's really small as well. I won these with all my might in a claw machine. It was like 10 tries, ni sen yen later. She's a perfect shape. She's very big. I'm very pleased with her, and I just wanted to brag a little bit. I realized there's this trend of pairing Miffy with like home decor. Isn't that cool? I have a ton of them, and then on the back she's like, yeah, isn't that fun? And you can buy, I think, the big version of the kettle and the Fujihoro stuff in real life too. So they have Miffy's Cafe, they have Miffy Room, and they have Miffy's Natural Kitchen. It's not really a gachapon, it's like it's elevated, it's in a box. I have not bought a single one of those because they are too expensive. I would not gamble on getting the same one twice if it were going to be that big. If they're not right in front of me and I can't stuff a coin into the machine, then there's really no point for me to get it. But anyway, yeah, I love Miffy. She's worth it every time. She's a chef. I think that's really fun. All right, next. Let's see. Blue Seal. Blue Seal is an Okinawan ice cream brand, but it looks a bit like vaguely American. I went to Okinawa once and I had a lovely time. They have great ceramics. I saw a snake there. I love it when I see a snake. It reminded me of like Briars or something, like Blue Bunny. It was very specific and very Okinawan, so I got almost all of them. Those are these hand-painted shisa that you can get, and I got my own, and I just wanted to share them. I think they're really cool. The paint is very textured, and they have nice faces. These little purple potato sweet tart cakes. Every time I try them in pop-up stores, they're not as good. I think because they're a little stale, but if you get them fresh from Okinawa, they're really good. I got that, like from a gacha machine, I got the Benimo. This was a fun era of my life. Let's continue. So after Okinawa, I also went to Naoshima, which is the art island, and they have this incredible onsen there called I Heart You. The big neon sign on top is this woman. She's very pretty. And she has a big U sign coming out of her head. It's kind of expensive, it was like 500 yen each, and I got like 3 elephants. But the elephants are good because they were also from the onsen, so I actually got this big folio of postcards. You can see the elephant, like, them, like, putting him in there. And I think in the morning it's a museum, so you can hang out and check out the men's or the women's side if you can't go in there at night. This is a crazy story. I ended up at the onsen for way too long, and I was walking home in the dark. There was something the size of a golden retriever. It was so dark and it was so fast, and it made this horrible like squealing noise, and then I realized it was a wild boar and I was alone with it. It was so freaky, and it was the middle of the night, but I got away, obviously. I have these other guys. I have the Biore Marshmallow Whip and the Anne Honey shampoo, and I would get the big versions, and then I got the tiny gacha versions of them. And I got those little Sanrio Sana guys. Anyway, Naoshima was fun. They also have the Yayoi Kusama pumpkin. I think when I was there it was washed away, but I think they've restored it now. Anyway, next up we have ice cream. I love ice cream, but I love that Ohio milk pudding more than anything on this page. The little white cup up there, that thing is delicious, and Ohio came out with like, you know, a mini series, as you can see. And I also really like the creme brulee. Those were the two that I really cared about. You can only get the creme brulees at 7-Eleven. The chocolate one was really good, and I wish they would sell it more. I don't know why, I've never seen it but after the one time, but it was great. Cremia. So the guy who invented Cremia, I think his whole shtick was that he wanted to make the perfect ice cream cone, and so he made the cone like a cookie, and the milk fat or like the aeration in it is some sort of perfect. It is really good. I don't think I ever got the ones that I wanted. I've never seen the caramel as a flavor. I've never seen the pink cone. I've seen the matcha, but I've not seen matcha ice cream. I've seen just like they would powder some matcha on top of the vanilla. Yeah. Cremia is nice. So mochi ice cream, daifuku ice cream is really good. You can get it at the konbini. The Pinos is pictured here because I feel like that's the equivalent of dibs in America, and I loved dibs as a kid. Not that I would get it a lot, but I love the idea of just a snackable ice cream. Those pretty ones, that's an Uji matcha ice cream bar, and you can only get them in Uji, and I got one of these. And I got a really good colorway, like it's pink with blueberries and raspberries, strawberries. I think it's great. Let's see. Fruits. This was a heartache. This was hard. These are the fruits that you can only get at like specialty stores, and they have the Miyazaki mango, they got shine muscat, and I kept getting lemons. I swear to God, it's like 500 yen a pop. I never got anything else over the entire time that they were selling this, which was like a year, and it was so annoying, and I would give lemons to everybody. The lemons were the worst ones, and I think that was purposeful. The mangoes are the rarest ones to get because the Miyazaki mango is like 2 mon. Expensive fruit, and I've never had these in person, but I thought that I could afford the gachas. Surely, it seems like I can't even afford that. Like, it would have been fun. to have miniature fruit to add to my collection of useless stuff. Fruit is quite expensive here just in general. I miss good cheap fruit. God. Alright, next. Nature. So look at this. This is my frog on a toadstool. He's very charismatic and engaging, and I love him so much. You know, the frogs are good, but the star of the show really is this turtle that I have to show you right now. I got this turtle because I can't get a real one, and I'm very happy with it because it moves enough and it's very realistic, and I'm sure I could trick a couple of people into thinking this thing is real. This was really expensive. This wasn't just a normal gachapon, this was a premium. But it was kind of worth it because every single part of him moves. You can even open his mouth. It's very strange. You know what, for 1500 yen, really cool. And then the koala. The koala, nature? You remember Koala's March? It's a chocolate. It was really popular when I was a kid. And I've only ever seen this machine once, never again. And look, it's like the original packaging, and I got exactly the one I wanted, and it looks, ta-da! It looks just like the snack. Like it's almost the same size, and it's a ring. I think nature continues on the next page. Butterfly boxes. What initially drew me to these was actually not just because they're very pretty and I thought they were cool to stick on my fridge, but also because when I was a kid, I had this family friend. Her dad had a huge collection of bugs in these boxes with like the pins. I think her mother divorced him because it was disruptive. I'm airing out their laundry. I don't think they'll ever see this, but yeah, that was really, that like stayed with me. And the Beatles are great and they made great music, and and I got they have these little keychains. Beatles. Okay, next. Esther Bunny. Esther Bunny is like if Miffy liked K-pop.
안녕하세요.
The phone chains. I was really hoping to get the ballerina one, which is why I ended up getting all of them in the process. But in hindsight, I'm really happy I got the yellow one because I like the carousel. They also have the cherries. The cherries are cute. Love her. Not much else to say. What else? Ooh, Copics. So, when I worked at an art store in college, everybody tried to steal them and they're very expensive. It was like $8 a pop back then, and I think that they're more now. They must be, right? Even before college, when I was in high school, at art school, I loved drawing with Copics, and I would get the dupes. If I want something but I can't afford the real one, I got the mini ones, and I got all these little Copic sketches. I actually never got the color I wanted. I like pink. But I did also get the chows, and I did get the color I wanted, but I didn't buy too many of them. They're kind of unaffordable, but I could get the miniature ones. This is the concept of mini brands. Like, this is it. Yeah, maybe I should just buy real ones. Maybe that would have been a better use of my money. Continuing on. Okay, these are tiny little guidebooks, like travel books. They're very popular in Japan. It's called like Walk the World. It's tons of pages, and if your eyesight is good enough, you can read through and see what to do, but none of it was new information to me. I only bought 2 of them, and I've only lived in 3 cities my whole life, and I got 2 out of the 3. It's a fun gimmick, but it wasn't very useful, and I kind of wanted to use it. If you understand Japanese and your eyesight is good, these are actually just cheaper than getting the real one. Yeah, I wanted to be well-traveled, like that guy. Okay. I was hit by a car, and then a couple months later I was hit by a motorcycle. The donut cop here is because the guys down at the police station were really mean to me. No! And they called me pejoratives, and it was really not nice. I was hit by a Toyota Alphard. I was on my bike, and so that's me falling off my bike and not being okay, and I had a concussion. And my neck was in a brace, and I looked just like this beautiful, beautiful woman. Ah, that was me. And then a couple and then like a few months later, they came out with this collection, the 1/87th scale version of the car, and I thought, well, how funny would it be if I got the same make and model of the car that hit me, because there was, you know, it was a 1 in 6 chance of getting it because they had the Alphard and the Velfire, and I did get the Alphard. I got the black Alphard that hit me. And I'm gonna cry. The great thing about it is that the lights turn on so you can actually drive it at night. Memories. And then I got hit by the motorcycle. That was even worse. But I'm here to tell the tale. Like, how lucky am I to be alive? Living is great. I'm so happy that I'm alive. So that's the Alphard 187 scale collection. I don't know why I think this is, I actually am like welling up, like it's like a fire in my face. Okay, let's keep going. All right, Sanrio. I'm not gonna dwell on this too much because I feel like Hello Kitty has, like, there's a multiverse. She's a woman of many hats, and I want to make an entire PowerPoint about her various collaborations that don't make any sense to me. To make it brief, I liked her retro 70th anniversary stuff. I like the sewing machine. I like the little coin purse. I got all of those Cupid ones. They come out every Valentine's Day. I was very lucky with that. I got like one by one, all in a row, no repeats, amazing. Baby Hello Kitty is cute. I like her little blush. I got her and I got Mellow, but I didn't get any of the others. But they also came out with a part 2 with Keropi and Kuromi. I like the one where she's baking a pie and it's very retro and she has all these apples because apples are her favorite fruit. And she weighs as much as 3 apples, which is kind of crazy. That's really light, kitty. Yeah, that's just so crazy to talk about, like, me getting hit by a car and then talking about Sanrio. That was a really hard time. Anyway, continuing on, Tom and Jerry. The Tom and Jerry fandom is alive and well over here. They constantly have them turning into food for some reason. Like, I know that Jerry eats the cheese and he turns into this big, you know, triangular cheese guy. But they take that to the next level over here. Is that Jacques? Yeah, Jacques. Ooh, he's so fresh. Yes, Jacques is a hot dog. And it's chocolat. Yeah. The green, the devil Jerry, I like him. I like him because one of my old students, like, drew him for me. I thought it was demented and then I realized that it was just he was drawing this guy. I was always a Jerry person. I don't know. Who did you like? Okay, let's see. We're back to drinks. Drinks part 2. I didn't mention this last time, but vitamin lemon is, I think, 1,000 lemons worth of vitamin C. Probably not. I always drink it when I think I'm gonna get sick. This is one of the coolest gachapons I've ever seen, and not because I just care about drinks. It's a little soda can and twist it and it becomes this little retro soda bar where you get milkshakes and stuff with the little seating and everything. Bar stools and the Coca-Cola one, I love it. The posters, it's very homey. Yeah, I actually haven't gotten any of these because I've only seen it once and I didn't have the coins for it. That's the only thing that stops me, I guess. And then the Kikkoman soy milk. These are specifically so that you can hold your soy milk in a little cold insulated pack. I thought that was really swell. And then last here, vending machine, and you get a little Coke can to put inside of the slot so you can pretend that you got it out. They have retro versions of it too. Let's see. Oh, okay. Tamagotchi. Let me show you my regular one. This is my Tamagotchi. It was originally purple, it's brown now, and it's got diamonds all over it. I think it's quite fun. I actually like the brown version. I mean, it's brown just because of sun damage, but I think it looks a bit like a Neapolitan ice cream, like brown, pink, and white. And they made these miniature Tamagotchis, like keychain size. Look at the size difference here. So small. And then, here's the kicker. They get even smaller because they turn them into rings. Look at that. Whoa. They're so small. Look at the size difference between a regular Tamagotchi and a ring. I spent tons of money on these Tamagotchis and it was worth it. Low-key, it was kind of worth it. These were a hot commodity and I think they're still really expensive on Mercari. I don't have all of them, but I got a lot of them. Yeah, these are so cool. Okay. And then I think this is the last one. Let's talk about the Teletubbies first. That's not my baby son. That's not the one that I grew up with, but I thought it was really funny to have it on a tote bag. And I thought all the other designs were kind of funny too, like the uh-oh. I just think it's weird that we got Teletubby merch, but I don't know, I kind of wanted it. Polly Pocket. Now this is really what I wanted to talk about. They were already quite small, right? It's a compact house. I have something to show you. I didn't even get this myself because I've never seen this machine fully stocked because everybody wanted this. Miniature Polly Pocket with like the original girl as a keychain, and you can put her inside or you could take her off and like play with her. Their grailed ones were the light pink one and the flower. They kind of go for a lot of money on Mercari for good reason, like they're very cool. I think that sums it up. No, no it doesn't. So what I have for you is a hand and a squirrel because a hand is Tetris, right? So all the merch in Japan for Tetris is Tetorisu, hand and squirrel, because it's a pun. I think that's, no, and Smitsky came out with a glow-in-the-dark gacha ball. Look at his face, and he's a ring, and this is the ring that I got. Let me show it to you. He's doing some cheeky gymnastics. Look at him. Whoa, it's a ring. I'll put it on. Kind of fun. And it glows in the dark. He also has a girlfriend. She's holding a gun for some reason. But look, I think they're in love. I love it. I paired them together. So that's it. Thank you. Bye.